Hi guys, welcome to my Hobbii yarn haul where the yarn that you see selected here was picked by you. Over on the community tab in my YouTube channel, I mentioned, hey, I'm going shopping over at Hobbii. What yarn would you like me to do a review on? And these were the three brands that were selected or voted on the most. I have Butterfly, Sultan, and Twister. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go over all the specs and details on each one of these brands. I'm going to review it and I'm going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 yarn balls. 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. The categories that I'm going to be voting on is the price tag of the yarn, the ease to work with it, its frogability, the color options, and its softness. You ready to get started? Okay, let's begin. The first yarn I'm going to go over is the Butterfly. It comes in at $17.70 per skein. There were 14 different color options that you can pick from. The details on this yarn, it is a size 3 weight, lightweight DK sized yarn, 100% acrylic. There are approximately 547 yards, 500 meters, 200 grams, or 7 ounces of yarn per skein here. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love the color options. They're this very deep jeweled color palette that they have options for. Makes me have those fall winter vibes that are just so incredibly yummy. Though I think that you could probably wear these year round. The yarn itself has a bit of a sheen to it. There's a reflection off of the yarn. It's not shiny, but I definitely see some kind of reflection off of it, which it's really pretty and quite flattering. The yarn strands itself are tightly wound. I did do a swatch with this yarn and it was very easy to work with it. Very easy, very delightful. I enjoyed the process and it had a very easy frogability. Had no issues there. The Butterfly yarn, being a size 3 weight yarn, opens up a whole category of different projects that we can make with it. Some of the projects on my YouTube channel that I think would be awesome made up with this yarn would be the Country Girl Bandana Cowl, the Tiffany top. Oh my gosh, that would be so perfect. But if you wanted to make a blanket, a perfect pattern that you could follow along with would be my Bloom blanket pattern. Oh my gosh, the transition of colors in this yarn would be perfect with that pattern. On a scale of 1 to 5 yarn balls, I'm going to give this yarn 4 yarn balls. Why? I thought it was a little pricey. $17.70 per skein seems a little bit steep for me, but everything else was great. It had great color options, it was easy to use, easy to frog, and it is extremely soft and pleasant to work with. The next yarn we're going to talk about is the Sultan Cotton King yarn here. It comes in at $10.40 per cake or skein. There were 48 different color option varieties that you could pick from, and I really did struggle to pick just 4 to present to you today. The colors that I did select were this orange one is called Poppy Topaz, this purple is called Rhodolite, the pink is Rose Quartz, and this black with peach in the middle is called Peach Beryl. I'll have the names to all of these yarns in the description section below for you, so if I move too fast through those, just know you can find that information there. Now the details on this yarn, it is a size 2 weight, it is 100% cotton. The amount of yarn, there's a lot of yarn in one cake. There's 874 yards, 800 meters, 200 grams, or 7 ounces of yarn in just one cake. That's pretty awesome. This yarn is very soft, but because it is 100% cotton, it also presents this feeling of being sturdy and durable. I would say though, when looking at the strand of yarn, it's not twisted. The plies are individual, and I can see this presenting a bit of a finicky problem or can be slightly tedious for a newer crocheter to work with because it is splitty. The yarn plies are not twisted. But I think that was a designer's choice, the manufacturer's choice, because when you work up these stitches that aren't tightly wound, that look like this, it does create a different look to the stitches, which is really, really pretty. Rating the Sultan yarn on a scale of 1 to 5 yarn balls, I'm going to give it a 3. Why am I giving it a 3? Well, it has all the color options, so it definitely has that point, and it was froggable. When I worked up a little section with this yarn, it was easy to frog, so we got that as well. And then it's soft. It is very pleasantly soft. However, Those plies not being tightly twisted, I think that could present a bit of an issue for some people and be a little bit more finicky and challenging to work with. So it got dinged there. And then also $10.40 for 100% cotton yarn. Yes, there's a lot of yarn in here and it could be worth it, but that's just kind of high for a yarn skein, especially when it comes to 100% cotton. I don't know. I just thought that was a little bit high. Some projects of mine that you could make using the Sultan yarn would be any of my shawls. This ombre color transfusion combinations they have here will look gorgeous in a larger project where you can really see those colors blend into each other. So definitely check out maybe my Cara shawl, my first shawl, or even one of my Hugs and Kisses shawls. The last yarn I'm going to talk about is Twister, and this one got voted on the most. And so I'm most excited to talk about it because the most people were interested in hearing about it. The Twister yarn comes in at $15.10 per skein. There were 37 color option variations that you could pick from. So again, had that trouble in picking just 4 because there are so many beautiful colors to pick from. The details on this yarn, it is also a size 2 weight, fine sport weight yarn, very thin. It is 55% cotton, 45% acrylic. There's a lot of yarn in this cake or skein. 1,093 yards, 1,000 meters, 250 grams, or 8.8 ounces of yarn in one skein. Oh my gosh, you're able to make a lot of one project wonders with one skein in this particular situation. The colors that I selected, the blue one here on the bottom is blue velvet lace. The purple on top is called Berry Sorbet. This beautiful pink here in the middle is called Rhubarb and Cream. And this last one over here, this beautiful blue-green, is called Cold Water Reef. If I were to rate the Twister yarn on a scale of 1 to 5 yarn balls, I would give this yarn a 5. I know, right? Like, really? A 5? Well, it hits all of the color options. There are 37 you can pick from. It's super soft. I worked up a swatch and it was super easy to work with, easy to frog. The yarn itself does have that tight twist to it, so I had no issue with the plies splitting or working with it. It was a pleasant experience. And then price-wise, they are $15.10 per skein, but when you consider that there are 1,093 yards in one skein, that's a pretty significant project that you can get out of it. So I'd say, yeah, that's okay. I'm okay spending $15.10 on that. Some great patterns that you can make using the Twister yarn you can find on my YouTube channel would be any of my shawls. The crisscross poncho would be stunning in this yarn, as well as use the arrow square pattern that I have on there and just make anything that your heart desires. The other things that you could potentially make would be my summer tank top. That would be gorgeous. Well, that's it. That's what I have for you. The butterfly, the Sultan, and the Twister yarn from Hobbii.com. I hope you loved this review, and let me know in the comment section below what projects you would make with each one of these. I am really curious to see where your imagination takes you, and help me out too to know what other projects you are inspired to make with this yarn. Also, let me know what was your favorite yarn that I showed. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you at the next one. Bye, guys.